first up, we have a panel which will be introduced by my friend Heiko Seitz, who is partner and global eMobility leader at PricewaterhouseCoopers, who have done tremendous work all around the world. I've just been with them, as it happens, up in Norway, and I know that Norway, Your Excellency, was cited in the 2030 plan as one of 3 countries, including, I think, Ireland and New Zealand, as examples of best practice. Certainly Norway as an oil state, to look at how they're doing it. So this is going to be called Building an EV Ecosystem in the UAE, public and private sector collaboration, just as we've been talking about. So would you please welcome to the stage the moderator for this session, Mr. Heiko Seitz. Please, thank you very much. Good to see you, Heiko.
Good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, very well. The stage is all yours. I'm going to keep quiet for a while, which will be a
But it's good to see you in the very cold parts of the world, in the very hot ones as well, huh?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm coping with it, to be honest, but there you are. Anyway, it's all yours, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see so many people in the room. Great to see the excellencies here, all the dignities. So we are going through one of the largest transformations, or more to say, mobility is going through one of the largest transformations this century, our generation will have seen by far. It's about how we move and how we energize mobility. Now, this transformation, this transition is touching everyone and everybody, both the public and the private sector. We're moving away from linear value chains into an ecosystem where all the sectors that used to be in silos are now connected. You can't be an automotive company anymore in electric mobility without having to think about power and utilities. You can't be an oil and gas company anymore to think about the new trends in mobility, etc. And this is why I'm very excited to now welcome to stage the ecosystem that is sector convergent, and we have great representation here from the region. So please help me welcome to stage Dominic Hagerty, COO Transport and Leasing of Emirates Transport. Please give the gentleman a round of applause. We're gonna have Farouq, Khader, who was just like name dropped by His Excellency. Congratulations to that. The founder of Charger. We have Vijeet Singh, acting VP of electric mobility and hydrogen of ADNOC Distribution. Last but not least, please welcome to stage Victor Chen of Huawei Technologies, Director of EV Charging. Gentlemen, please take place under your picture. Great to have you on stage. Let's have some fun. Okay.
Good morning. Good, thanks.
Right, so we've already heard it from the gentleman who set the scene just over the last 30 minutes. This region is not only hot by temperature, but by the trends we are seeing in the electrification of mobility. And there are lots of change here, lots of, well, challenges on the one hand, because it's an early ecosystem, but lots of great opportunities that you are here, I'm also here, to capitalize and to realize and to build this ecosystem and to make it one of the best ones, if not the best one in the world, because we can leverage all these lessons learned across the world and bring them all here to the country, cutting the learning curve and building the most advanced and also profitable and user-friendly ecosystem the world has seen. And I would like to start with ADNOC, right? ADNOC, UAE was already mentioned by His Excellency, which he chairs as one of the large fast charging networks here in UAE. And then there is ADNOC as well as one of the very prominent names, so very pleased to have you on stage. And Vijeet, before we go into the technicalities, why, along the transport corridors, I'd like to ask you a question. How is the rollout of charging infrastructure in UAE coming along? Do we still have a reason to have range anxiety, or is that already or soon a part of the past?
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me, Heiko, here. No, I think UAE, as you know, that it's a young, sustainable, tech-savvy, modern country, right? So we have already started the journey. We already heard from His Excellency that we have clear targets, clear mandate, and he in fact said that private players are going to play a very critical and important role, and we think so. I mean, ADNOC or anyone cannot build it. It's a big mandate, and all the stakeholders, including UAVs and other players, and not from the player side, but government, which is also doing a lot. So, it's a very simple, if I put, government is going to enable it. Players like us are going to, innovate and remain customer focused, and customers are going to adopt. That's how we see a journey is going to take forward. And ultimately, once you have the clear targets and clear mandates, it makes your life easy. And coming to rollout plans, we are growing fast. So for example, a year back, we had 50 odd chargers. Now we have 220 chargers. So, you see, it's a four times, and you're going to see a significant progress happening this year because all of us are learning in terms of how to make it, more efficient and how to do it right. So we have a lot of use cases and examples learning from, Europe, Americas, and including China. And I think all of us are not trying to reinvent a wheel, but idea is to how to take the best knowledge out of that and implement where, we can be more successful and more effective in the utilization of capital, plus all the issues, specifically, range anxiety is one, and ADNOC is trying to lead that part of it to electrify all the key national highways and routes. So, we are welcoming and, happy to collaborate with all the partners to make it a success.
All right, so everybody meet Vijeet today to sign up for new collaboration opportunities.
Sure.
Well, in the end, that's why we're all here, right? Fantastic. Dominic, COO of Emirates Transport, focused on, commercial fleets. And this is where it gets really exciting because commercial operators will actually only electrify when it works for them financially because they're much more business case driven than somebody who would like to try out something new, right? And this is where we can really say the rubber hits the road. How do you see the electrification of mobility coming along from a demand side of those customer groups that are most cost conscious? Are we on track?
Good question. That's a big question. And the short answer is the demand is most definitely there, more so than it was 1 year ago, even more so than it was 2 years ago. It comes down to many factors. One of the main factors is the total cost of operation. And, unfortunately, profit and loss accounts do make a lot of decisions as well as hitting ESG goals. We are seeing a closer equilibrium between the TCO of a commercial electric vehicle and a traditional ICE vehicle. That equilibrium is getting close to par now. There are higher upfront costs, of course, when you have an electric commercial fleet. However, we can see that in our calculations, the TCO over a 3 or 4 year period, when you take everything into consideration, is meeting a par. So the conversation is becoming easier when I go to boardrooms and explain that you should adopt the EV mandate, which has been set up by the government and the ministries, because it is not only compelling operationally, there are some challenges still, but commercially, is making sense. It's making more sense. So
TCO being the total cost of ownership from the point of buying a vehicle, operating it over a certain period, and then selling it, and therefore also being faced with the depreciation,
and
right?
Fueling it as well.
And fueling, yeah, operating
it. It's the big part of it, yeah. As I say, diesel it's obviously the life and blood of the commercial fleet at the moment in the UAE, and it is competitively priced in the UAE. So the argument is not quite there yet, but as I say, we can see in certain models, based on your operation, based on the application you use, it does make sense after 3 or 4 years.
Let me ask you directly a follow-up question on that one, because this is very interesting. You already differentiated, obviously, between the procurement cost of a vehicle and the operating cost, right? And based on our analysis, actually, we live in an oil-rich region where fuel is cheap, but we also live in a gas-rich region where gas-powered power is cheap. So we did the analysis and saw that actually it's much more expensive to buy an EV, particularly heavy trucks, commercial ones, but it's actually cheaper to operate them because of the cheap fuel costs. Is that also something, and we looked at mostly at the passenger cars for that one. We are about to launch a thought leadership on heavy trucks for that one to model the TCO. What's your view on that one? Is it cheaper or equally expensive or cheap to run a EV commercial vehicle, or forget the ticket cost?
Well, companies come to Emirates Transport and say, we want to pilot or lease a fleet of electric vehicles. They don't want to buy them themselves because they don't want to take that leap of faith. If they lease it through Emirates Transport, we are taking all the risk, like you mentioned, in terms of residual value. I mean, the Tesla, I was just looking outside, can now do a range of 600 kilometers. 2 or 3 years ago, that was only 400 kilometers. What's to say in 5 years, Teslas will be reaching up to 1,000 kilometers? That's the risk that we take as a fleet operator, to buy these vehicles and to have the confidence that we can sell them after their useful life to recover our cost. So it's difficult, but as we all know, an electric vehicle has less than 100 moving parts. A traditional ICE vehicle has more than 1,000 moving parts. The cost to operate and maintain those vehicles for us is actually cheaper than operating a normal vehicle. The problem comes with the higher upfront cost and the unknown in terms of the residual values which we were talking to. How do I dispose of 1,000, 2,000 electric commercial vehicles in 5 years' time? Based on the example I just gave about the technology will continue to develop, and in 5 years' time, the vehicles we buy today might not have the same appeal in the after-sale market.
Excellent. So we're coming from one person who sells or leases out the trucks to somebody who will definitely have to buy a couple of trucks, which is Farouq, with his great new business model. And I'm sure you're going to tell us, or tell the audience a little bit about it, which is Charger. You're basically, I don't want to say replicate, but you're taking inspiration of Carrefour that brings fuel to the homes. You want to do the same thing with battery electricity. But when we talked, again, after quite a while, I learned there is meanwhile much more you plan. So share the news. What is Charger all about? And welcome to stage. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Heiko, for the amazing introduction. I founded Charger 2 years ago. It's a local company incorporated in Abu Dhabi global market. At Charger, we are building 3 models. We have the charge assistance. It's 10 to 15% top up to get you to the nearest charging point. The second model is the 450 kilowatt battery pack, which is capable to deliver a full charge at your location. The third one is the 1 megawatt electric truck. It's equipped with 1 megawatt of a battery pack, has 4 charging points and can charge 4 at a time. It can be located through our app, and it will be stationed in key locations across the UAE. This is one vertical that we're working on. There is another vertical that we're working on at this moment, which is our charger hubs. It's a similar concept as the traditional gas stations, but it's specifically only for electric vehicles. You will be able to have a dine-in options, you will have a car wash facility, and you will be able to get a charge assistance, actually. The third vertical that we're working on is our charger app. And the app is available in the both stores, Apple Store and Google Play. This app is going to play all in one app, which is you're going to not be able to only get a charge assistance, or you're going to get a schedule a charge or an instant charge. You will also get other wide of services that you can find in the same app. So these are the 3 verticals that we're working on at Charger at this moment. And we can see that the infrastructure is expanding and the technology is evolving, and we are building an ecosystem. It's not only for today's currently demand, but also scalable for the future.
Fantastic. So lots of...
We have one prototype is here outside, so we can...
Where is it exactly? I think it's close to the ministry stand, right?
Yeah, it's in the exhibition over there.
So we all have to look at it.
Of course, I would love
So when can you come to my house and recharge my battery?
Well, I promised you to do that last time when we met, but we didn't get the chance to yet. I know you changed places, so inshallah, after the conference, we'll get the chance to do a pilot.
Okay, fantastic. Well, looking forward to that. Victor, welcome to stage. Fantastic. You represent one of the largest, most dominant technology players in the world. I think that's no understatement. Huawei, you guys, especially also when it comes to electric mobility, are present with your technology over the entire value chain. You have partnered up with companies to build electric vehicles, to supply the parts, the technology, the intelligence. But here today, we're talking more about the charging infrastructure. So can you, from a technology vendor perspective that really has seen it all across the world, give us your view on what a smart, best-in-class ecosystem really could look like, and then also share your role, what you bring here to the table with EV charging technologies, etc.
Yeah, okay. So my pleasure here. Huawei, actually, we start from my, my position, my role. Huawei, we have 6 business units, actually. We have cloud, ICTs, card, and also we have chip business unit. And final business unit, it will be the power business unit. So I come from power. So power, we have data center and EV charger. So I'm responsible for EV charger and data center. So in terms of the smart charging ecosystems, I think it should be like more convenient. How convenient it will be for the user. Like if it's easy for you to reserve a charging point. It's easy for you to find a charging point to charge your car, and very fast to charge your car. And also for the CPO or charging point operator, it will be very easy. This ecosystem will make you very easy to operate, to maintain your charging point. Yeah, this is the 2 points from my understanding about the smart charging ecosystem. And what Huawei now we bring in UAE. So firstly, we bring the ultra-fast charging technology. We can reach 1 second, 1 kilometers to charge your car. So 10-15 minutes, you can fully charge your car. This is one. Secondly, we have liquid cooled technology. So liquid cooled technology will make your life more easy for the charging point operators. It's easy for you to do operation, maintenance, and more service life, more than 10 years service life. For sure, there's some other like technologies, like low balance technology, some things which can deliver the powers based on the capability of your car. So such kind of technology now we are bringing in UAE, and it's not only from Huawei. I think it's from the complete industry. We have the same realized. Yeah.
Let me ask you a direct follow-up question, because you just mentioned something really impressive. The fast charging speed. I think you said just like in 1 minute, 100 kilometers. Did I hear that correctly? That's what you just said, right? Or,
yeah.
I mean, when we get there, it will be much more attractive to have an EV compared to a combustion engine car, assuming the infrastructure is there. However, do you see, I mean, that is, one thing is to having the output from the charging station to the car. The other thing is having the car taking all that energy. Do you see, because your company plays on both sides, do you see that the car technology is evolving at the great speed? And BYD recently made the same announcement. Do you see that in general across the world we will see more cars that can also take this energy? Also in such hot environments as here, because heat is not always great for charging speed and range, is it?
Correct. So actually, you know, BYD recently they announced this one like flex charger technology. 1 second reach to 2 kilometers. Now the new product is going on. So in terms of like the demand here and the chargers, I think the demand here is now still is the early stage for the EV. We have almost like 40 cars here. But why we need to 40K? So why we need to bring the ultra fast or super fast charging technology? Because actually 30%, 25 to 30% of the car now support super fast, ultra fast charging technology. More than 50 support faster charging technologies. So, and now BYD and most of the new car vendors, now they bring all the new model to support ultra fast. New model only ultra fast. So I believe in UAE, we have a very big vision, and we always bring new technologies. We will not to buy 3G, we will buy a 5G or 6G, you know, mobile phone, and facility to support. So the ultra fast is mandatory, like in UAE, in this market, if we want to EV to grow up. So another thing is like why liquid cold is more important in UAE, because in UAE, you know, UAE is hot, so outdoor temperatures more than 50 degrees sometimes. So in this case, the air cold technology will get the rating, like 200 kilowatt charging points, you will get 150 kilowatt power. This is similar discussion happened just now with fully charge also, and with CITAS discussed a lot about the air cold cooling, you know, now challenge we have. And also liquid cold actually can move the heat more fast. That's why we can support ultra fast to reach up to more than 500 kilowatt. So air cold can reach to 50 something maximum, very difficult.
So we're going to see more and more fast charging, and
more
it's feasible.
fast charging, yeah. So I think yes. So liquid cold technology actually is very necessary here in UAE, in GCC market.
Let me then jump straight to ADNOC, who could possibly right away say, hey, Victor, that sounds great. I want to buy some of your stash, if you can say that with charging infrastructure. But in any case, Vijeet, ultra-fast charging is what we, as eMobility users, I have 2 electric vehicles at home. That's exactly what we want to see to remain mobile, especially as we go along the transport corridors, right? Because one thing is me, I live in Dubai, driving to the office or to my clients during the day, coming back, recharging at home. The other thing is driving to Abu Dhabi, like I did today, where I then want to make sure that I quickly can recharge to make sure that I get on with my life. So can you give from the perspective of an operator your view on what's your target for ultra-fast charging or for charging speeds in general, and along which corridors? Where will we be able to see more of the ADNOC fast charging? And why actually only along these corridors? Because there are many ADNOC stations actually outside of these corridors as well, huh?
No, I think I completely agree with Dominic Victor on this. We think that the future is ultra-fast and fast charging. And that's why ADNOC distribution focuses on the go, fast charging on the go, where, every time you go, people feedback is, I think one is range anxiety, and second is, I want to leave the charging experience should be 15 to 20 minutes. And that's a reality. We all know that. And as he rightly said that, the development, the technological development which are happening at the OEM side as well as charger or EV vehicles, battery side, ultimately will be there. I mean, it's when the mass production and the right pricing will happen, that is something to watch out for. But we want to be future ready, right? So the thing is how we are installing, we want, if I have to replace, so right now most of our network is 180 kilowatt and more. But when we are going to replace it, can we do it faster? Yes. That's how we are designing. So the infrastructure planning is such a way that we can support that kind of a requirement. Second thing is the question which we always keep on getting is, will I get the same experience as I do during fueling? Which is 5 to 7 minutes, you go there, reliable speed. So I think that's again the second bit of the puzzle where we want to resolve that network should be accessible, first of all, reliable, and third is speed. And speed may come, it will take some time because a significant cost element attached to it. But the accessibility and the availability, reliability is something we are focusing right now from an operations perspective. And giving a world-class uptime is honestly my biggest focus area right now. So, and we are trying to resolve it in many ways using, latest AI technology, computerized maintenance service, also upgrading and educating people also, because I realize one thing is you provide something, but also education, in terms of the consumer. A lot of people doesn't know how to even use a properly charge, how can they enhance their experience. And then you can, once you educate and make them understand, then, the other kind of features, plug and charge, for example, which is also, quick way to, do your, all kind of payment gateways. So I think those things are, again, going to support the overall customer experience.
Amazing. Dominic, I'd like to jump there to you and discuss a little bit range considerations with your clients, because as commercial operators, they have to make sure that they meet certain service levels, independent of the temperature, by the way, right? Because they can't afford to say, hey, I'm only going to serve 80% of my male customers because it's hot, right? And then they need to charge. So how much do you currently see your customers, that might be fleet customers possibly with their own hubs, I don't know, how much is this whole charging and range anxiety a barrier for electrification for them? And do you see a slow improvement there or not yet?
I think if Dr. Al-Ghafri from ITC said to us, we want to operate 25% of our school buses to be fully electric because we offer 10,000 school buses currently in addition to our fleet. We can do that. We can provide electric vehicles, but we need these gentlemen here and all the other government and ministries to provide that infrastructure to allow us to charge those vehicles. Operationally, they work. Financially, it's a little bit more expensive at the moment, but like I mentioned, that equilibrium is coming, and unfortunately, the end user will have to pay for that in the interim, and that means the parents, in the example of school buses. It's an evolving landscape, but as the biggest fleet operator in the UAE, we take that responsibility to help drive the conversation to offer the UAE the services required to be able to fulfill the mandate of 2030 and 2050. Because we know it's coming and we know it can work, and we are very optimistic about the future of not only light passenger vehicles, but commercial vehicles as well, including the buses that we spoke about. Hydrogen is another option, but that's maybe for another day. But we do see a very strong future for hydrogen if green hydrogen is made available en masse.
All right, so for you, the hydrogen is more of a supply chain constraint right now. You believe there could be a demand and there could be a business model that is feasible?
Yeah, I think so, especially for medium and heavy commercial usage and long range. Hydrogen certainly provides a viable solution. Small, compact urban environments is perfect for light passenger and light commercial vehicles.
And I think this is a very exciting statement that you just made, because when I come to different countries in the world, I see that the answer to hydrogen is different. And that is really, the world is not flat. We have to appreciate the differences of different regions, availability of commodities, demographic and geographic differentials, that actually the answer of hydrogen versus battery can be different for different parts of the world, right? Because in Germany you would not get this answer. You would say, no, hydrogen, forget it. So this is quite interesting.
Another point, just to quickly jump in, we are trialing at the moment to retrofit some of our existing vehicles and turn them into electric to make them more affordable for the end user. We are trying different things in every which way to bring different solutions to different customers and the application which they may have.
Yeah, retrofitting is obviously interesting for the business case because the overall cost is lower when your existing combustion engine vehicle still has a lifespan ahead and you theoretically can use it, right?
Absolutely. It's not as simple, but it's removing the engine, putting in a battery pack, and on it goes, yeah.
Farouq, probably, I don't know if your trucks will be custom built or are they actually retrofit or custom built, your trucks?
I'm sorry?
Are your trucks custom built for you or are they retrofitted?
No, definitely they are custom built for me. It's upon my inquiries actually. And everything was designed through the vision that we have a charger. We wanted to build an ecosystem that can be easily accessed to every single EV owners in the UAE for all the services they need in either one location or in one app. We face some challenges actually to reach to the consumer where they want to get the services, which is we maintain a reserved fleet for emergency scenarios. We build a back-end system that can monitor each battery level to get a notification for the technician whenever the battery goes low to go to the nearest charging point to recharge again. Also, we have AI forecasting to pre-position our units in key location areas with high demands. We also real-time matching where the consumer will order the service. Our algorithm is going to match them with the nearest charging available unit to be able to serve them, factoring, of course, the battery level and the ETA and the traffic.
So, and I mean, that sounds exciting and very technologically advanced, lots of, digital layers, artificially intelligent, etc. How do you make sure, I mean, for you, I think battery technology will be key to quickly charge your battery at the hubs that you want to have,
yes,
and then to be able to quickly discharge, right? Because this is what I would, for example, want, that when you come, I mean, I like spending time with you, but not that much time in this case.
Yeah,
what are the service levels you will want to work towards?
So we...
I assume it's your driver coming, not you, by the way. So,
so at Charger, we are using in ultra-fast charging technology. So our battery capacity will be equipped between, for the charge assistance, it's going to be 120 kilowatt battery pack. For the 450 kilowatt battery pack, also for the mobile charge, and the 1 megawatt. So we're using ultra-fast charging technology for the output power also. So it's going to be equipped with 200 kilowatt output power to be able to recharge the new technologies like BYD and Teslas in a significant time, 15 to 20 minutes, and you're good to go. We're changing the 30 minutes charging session into a meaningful part of your life, actually.
Very good. I mean, what you already mentioned to me, Farouq, when we had the call, you're going to work with insurances, with maintenance companies. It's all going to be, you're basically building the ecosystem, right? It's not just the app.
No.
It's also like a physical ecosystem that you're building,
Yes,
right?
yes. In the charging hub, you will have dining facilities, you will have a car wash, dine-in options, car wash facility. You will probably, I'm not sure, but potentially AutoPro's first EV service center in our locations. So I think this is an attractive location where you go to, can put your car to charge for 10, 15 minutes, and then you will be able to get a burger somewhere or have a coffee or work on your laptop a little. If you get some tire problems, you can go to any service provider at our location, and you can do whatever you need at one place. Also in our application, it's not only for a charger, also through our third parties that we're the services that we're providing, which are going to come to you directly. We are going to start integrating CPO's network into our application also, so we can give the consumer a choice if you need to get the service delivered to you or you want to go to the nearest charging point to charge your vehicle. So I think it's an ecosystem for today's demand, and I'm sure in the near future we're going to go with more ideas to be capable to cover all EV aspects and have a hassle-free.
Yeah, amazing. Vijeet, we're talking about EV charging, but in the end, you represent an oil and gas company, right? Which has always had a like all oil and gas companies, they think very, very, very long term, right? So, and by the way, this is quite interesting because this mindset will probably also be required if you want to invest into charging infrastructure in an ecosystem where you don't have this high utilization yet, and you make the ROIs on the long term. So, what's the mindset that you think is required in EV charging investment, in the infrastructure investment? Are you guys looking or expect to have short-term ROI, if I can be so indiscreet, right? I don't know what you can share with us. Or do you really see that as a long-term play where the cash is going to come down the road?
I think, again, it's a long-term play, right? So right now the industry is building, the utilization levels are increasing, on a monthly basis. So for example, right now I'm seeing 15,000 transactions happening every month, which wasn't the case earlier, right? So we see the improvement happening. Also, awareness, is also about your network, which is also, adding to that utilization. We are also working with a lot of like-minded, partners, especially fleet operators. Can we use my off-peak hours? Can I use my specific station, which is underutilized? And they are happy to do so. So, at various levels, the momentum is picking up. And again, we know this is a long game, right? And we are also, I agree with Farouq, we are also focusing on EV hubs, because we already have in Mazda City and we are already building. So ultimately, we want to do it right. It may take some time and you will see the cycle, sometimes the pickup or adoption of EV adoption will be faster in few of the countries, years, and it may not be the same in, the subsequent years. But we know that mandate is clear, as, we have been hearing, like 2030 targets, 2050 targets, and to achieve that, we have to start right now. Especially when there is a concept of land and power, specifically power is the critical element. We want to capture that power in the right areas, in the right corridors where we want to build our network. Having said that, we are delivering fuel from 50 years. We want to future-proof our business. We want to be customer-focused, as well as we should be future-ready, because, at some point of time, this has to happen, where we know that, the mobility, decarbonization is the easiest, or, the fruit which can be, plucked quickly. And it is already adding 19% of the carbon emission right now. So I think the mandate is from top to bottom is quite clear. It's just in terms of return, yes. Initially, the returns will not be that high. But once you have, we also have, scalability, and you have that economic of scale, you have good that from Ministry of Energy Infrastructure, we have unified pricing. You know, those kind of policies which are already either active or will be upcoming are going to also support the investment side of things and also going to promote the adoption, which is going to ultimately give us the return. So I think all of this business is not for the faint hearts, you know, all of us know. So it's evolving, but we are hopeful that, you know, it's going to give the returns what we expect them to be.
So let me ask you a bit of a weird question, right? Not so weird, but you're ADNOC, you're a very cash-rich company. I think that is no secret. Do you think generally, if you're overseeing, because you've done your calculations about ROI, etc., when you look at the overall ecosystem, appreciating that not every CPO will be in such a cash-rich position as you, do you think there needs to be subsidies for the UAE to, you know, roll out charging infrastructure to the scale that Dominic's fleet customers get the service levels? Do you think we need a certain acceleration, or do you think we can actually work without subsidies? Because this is traditionally an area which I think, by the way, is very healthy, is focused on a natural organic growth of the market. I think wherever you can avoid subsidies is a good thing, but for this particular one where we have a very ambitious curve in front of us, what's your view?
No, I think, I mean, it's again, you know, is it demand, supply demand, you know, how it works? Is it a push or is it a pull, right? So we are seeing that initially it was more of a pull, but now it's more of a push because supply, given the mandates to various, not just fleet operators, but also the new EV adopters, right? They want to, you know, have a world-class, you know, infrastructure, not infrastructure, but customer experience also. So how, we all know how the journey happened, you know, across the regions, you know. It was first, initially it was charging, then the, you know, the ancillary services, then the payment. But now when we are rolling it out, it has everything included. And that the good part for, you know, for ADNOC is our existing infrastructure, which we can leverage, right? So if you go to one of our sites, you will have amenities, you'll have a convenience store, you'll have quick service restaurants. So, you know, all those things really support the, you know, the understanding. But we can work with, you know, partners on a particular project basis. We are happy to be a charging infrastructure, you know, partner, because we want them to invest in buying more EVs and supporting, you know, increasing fleet. But rest of the problems, how to maintain, how to operate, how to control, audit, you know, from a management perspective, you know, the whole operation and management as well as the availability of the charger infrastructure can be left up to us. So we are happy to support that journey.
Very good. Dominic, you're representing the vehicle side. In this part of the world, I mean, we've seen successful, not very successful subsidy programs across the world, right? I mean, it always is the question how they're shaped, how they're targeted. And you mentioned if you want to transform these school buses, the parents will have to pay. And then the question is, will they say, well, we rather take the good old diesel engine and save money? What's your view? Is there a need on the EV side? And don't just think about selling more cars. That's not the purpose of the panel.
No, not at all. No. ESG is important to us, our environmental goals. What I would say is in London or in Manchester, where I'm from in the UK, EV adoption is very high. The penetration is very large because in the UK, you didn't pay value-added tax. You get subsidies. You could have a charger installed at your home for free by the government. And I think that has massively supported the EV penetration in Europe and the UK and probably further afield. I'm not here to say what should or shouldn't happen here. However, I think, like I mentioned, UK and especially Norway, actually, it's been very well adopted. Even in Norway, I think 90% of vehicles are electric there because the government has brought the mandate forward and they have mandated that all vehicles there should be electric, in Norway especially. So, yes, government has a part to play. Yes, private infrastructure also has a part to play. And in tandem, we are here to provide whatever the customer demands. If you ask for 100 pink Lamborghinis, we will give you that. But there's a cost. If you want electric vehicles, again, we can provide that and the infrastructure. But you've got to be able to understand that. You've got to be educated almost that TCO does play a part and we can provide a benefit to you. But people have got to be educated. I think people are scared to take the leap of faith sometimes, and if it's not broken, then don't fix it, is some of the mentality that I see. And it's just an evolving game. And a lot of companies have adopted in the UAE already, which is great to see on a small pilot. Now it's about taking those pilots to a larger scale.
Very good. By the way, 2 years ago, I had a panel with Roger Atkins in Munich at Mobility Live, and we actually also discussed this very topic, where to focus subsidies on if there is only a limited pool available. And we said, if there is a limited pool, we focus it on the one hand, obviously, on charging infrastructure in areas where there is a slow uptake, but on the other hand, focuses on fleet operators, because they will be much more sensitive of business case. And if you help the electrification on fleets, you really electrify at scale. And in the end, why do we electrify? We electrify to reduce CO2 emissions. We sometimes forget that. This is not just about a fun thing, this is about decarbonizing the world. So if you have limited funds available, which we have no matter where we are in the world, focus them where you have the biggest bang for the buck, and that are actually fleets, commercial fleets. Victor, obviously, we already mentioned it at the very beginning when we set the scene for the panel. This is all about collaboration and partnerships. So, as an organization that focuses on bringing technology to probably everybody here on the panel, what are the key partnerships that you already, or that you're looking for, or that you believe are the key ones, be it with the regulator, with the government, with the oil and gas and fleet operators? What is it that I think, or that you recommend us to focus on from your view, how it has been successfully done in other parts of the world?
So regarding the partner ecosystems, as Huawei, we are like product supplier. So we provide new technology to the market. But in terms of the partners, in terms of go to the market together, just now we are talking about ROI, better return. So actually, the charging business is relied on the power, electricity, and the land. This is the game. Yeah, in China also. In China, there are more than 10,000 operators now. They are rushing here and there to occupy the land and electricity. So first and most important partners to be, who has the land and electricity, right? This is the first key partners in this top, level. And also we so that's why we know at Huawei we work with electricity company, also DIWA, also ADNOC also for gas station, and real estate developer also. These are the key partners here. And we also work with private operators to create some good business model for the commercial market. So, private operator issue is like, maybe we need more finance investment, because capex is there and now still early stage. So you need to survive. You need to have an early investment. So we need to have a finance model, good business model for them. This also is our partner ecosystem, and for sure we work with some software partners also to test the integration of the devices and the building systems. Yeah, I think this is the key partners for us. If you want me to add more, in China, also Huawei, we created one ultra-fast charging institute. So we invite all the car vendors and industry leaders and government also policy something. So we try to standardize all the protocol of the charging devices, software, something, to have a unified platform, one map for the ultra-fast charging system, and also to avoid the duplicated investment for the same location. So I think all this we can also copy it in UAE. These are the key partners, the key ecosystems here. Yeah, this is my understanding. Thank you.
Fantastic. I would like, we have 5 minutes left, open the floor for questions. I am sure there is at least one, if not more, people. I already see first hands coming up. Can we please pass a mic? A first question, and will be great. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for a very engaging panel discussion. I guess that my question is for Vijeet. As a user, very excited to see the rollout of additional charging points, even ultra-fast charging points. The question that I have, though, is beyond the last mile anxiety, it's also about being sure that once you arrive there, the charging point is free. It's free, is available. The charging point is up and running, being because of hardware failure or issue with the grid. So the question that I have for you is, what do you do to make sure that users can have that visibility and peace of mind, basically?
Sure, I will take this one. I think it's a very relevant point because one is about availability of charger, but the second is reliability. I think and reliability is a very key factor because when you are driving your car and there's one charging point available within the vicinity, right, and you're going there and it's not working or the queue is very long. So I think everyone is trying as far as I know, but how we are trying in ADNOC is first of all, we are extremely focused now on the uptime to provide a world-class uptime. Second, on avoiding queue side of things, we are installing at least 6 CPs at one station. So you have, the charger availability. And how are we tackling the uptime? Because it's mostly the unmanned, operation. So with utilizing AI, we are also implementing CMMS, which is computerized maintenance management system, which is going to, do the predictive and, reactive maintenance in a quicker way. So earlier, yes, there were delays because even identifying there is an issue with the hardware, it used to take time at least 2 to 3 working days. Now we have shortened it to in 4 hours. So again, availability is one aspect of it, but I completely agree with you. How you're going to ensure that charger is reliable is a very, very focused area, and that's my biggest KPI also, to give you a world-class, so I hope that we will be able to improve your experience going forward.
Or you can call charger and we come to you directly.
Thank you.
Very good. So we have the base level and the backup, huh? But
Correct.
Meanwhile, I have to admit, right? I mean, when you look at Carrefour, the backup has become the base as well for some parts of the barter. So, but you have to keep on delivering your world-class service, huh? But you will.
The idea is to not let any customer slip into, to there.
Very good. We have time for one last question. Please, my favorite guest in the Shelby shirt. How are you? Good to see you again.
Gentlemen, thank you for your time this morning to inform us on your current operations and what you see for the future. As Heiko mentioned, I've been here a few times, and I always have the same question. As a manufacturer of EV motorcycles, where can I look for manufacturing capital to start building our EVs here in Abu Dhabi? I have been here since COP28, had a good number of meetings with interested people, just coming down to final execution on funding for manufacturing capital seems to be a major issue, at least for me as an EV manufacturer. So to anybody on the panel, if you could please direct me as to which way to proceed to find production capital. Thank you. Oh, my name is Dimitrios Melikos.
And maybe, Farouq, you can sit down over a coffee, because I remember 2 years ago, we were sitting over a shawarma and you asked me the same question, right?
I have a list of 300 VCs. I'll share it with you. And good luck.
And now you're on the panel, and you have a partnership with the ministry, as His Excellency mentioned today. So maybe you guys should share lessons.
I would like to be part of the EV Majlis.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I would like to thank my panelists for your insight and for being here today. Can we please give these gentlemen a round of applause? I think they have deserved it. And I would like to thank you all for being here today, and I wish you a fantastic day, not just with Roger Atkins, but on EVIS. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.